Rallye du Maroc, the final round of the Rally Raid title chase for both cars and bikes in 2019. There's still lots to play for, leaving no time at all for people to enjoy some autumn sun gracing North Africa. It's a 6-day rally that heads south from Fez to the bivouac at Oufous in the heart of the desert. 62 bikes came to the start line, with the focus being on the works teams. KTM, Honda, Husqvarna, Sherco and Hero all keen to finish the season on a high. The 2019 championship was won by Sam Sunderland last time out, but he's still gunning to win, just as he did in 2015.
Obviously it was a goal of mine to get the World Championship done, and with a round to spare it's been really nice and we can relax a little bit here in Morocco.
Matthias Walkner's had a season off the bike with injury, so may well be playing himself back in rather than risking too much. 2018 winner Toby Price is another returnee after injury. American Ricky Brabec is with Honda, and he is teammates to Spaniard Juan Barreda. Yamaha will challenge with Adrian van Beveren, while Sherco are again out in force. The battle for the 2019 FIA Cross Country World Cup is on. There's just 9 points between Nasser Al-Attiyah and Stefan Pederhansel.
I am here, yes, to do my job, my best run. Yes, I think we can win. The rally will be really difficult this time, but we need to be really clever, like what we did last 5 years.
Stefan Pederhansel may well have won the Dakar 13 times, but he's never won the World Cup. F1 World Champion and Le Mans winner Fernando Alonso is now a desert racer.
We don't have any reference yet, we've been only testing, so we will take it step by step, day by day. Obviously we are competitive people inside the helmet, so let's see at the end of the rally.
Making it Spanish motorsport royalty, Carlos Sainz is here too. Never count him out. The prologue kicked off Rallye du Maroc for 2019, a short test just outside Fez on the side of a very hot and dusty mountain. 2019 world champion Sam Sunderland guided his KTM to third, 7 kilometres down, 1700 to go. Honda's Kevin Benavides kept a cool head, getting stuck in to be second. After a nasty injury to his ankle and knee earlier in the year, Matthias Walkner took the stage by 2 seconds. Walkner 2 ahead of Benavides, Sunderland in third ahead of Price and Van Beveren. The real rally now gets underway with a 226-kilometre stage from Fez down south to Erfoud. Following the prologue, the top 15 riders from that short stage chose their starting positions on the road for the first proper stage in the desert. Do you want to lead or do you want to follow?
15, 15.
In the end, it was Johnny Aubert who got first place off the line. Up early and ready for the desert. Now the Rallye du Maroc gets underway. Austrian Matthias Walkner used most of his rear tyre. Many did. He got through the stage to be 6th. Fifth for the winner of this rally 2 years ago, Australian Toby Price, in touch and fully over a nasty bout of tonsillitis from earlier in the week. It's a long way to come from Bolivia to Morocco, but for Daniel Nosiglia these conditions suit him and his Honda as well. Fourth on the stage, even though he had a 2-minute penalty later on. Top Honda was Ricky Brabec, carrying the might of HRC. The softly spoken American kept just enough rear tyre throughout the stage to keep the Japanese team happy. He was only 90 seconds off the win after a stage of nearly 3 hours. Just missing out on best time in Erfoud was recently crowned world champion Sam Sunderland. Was going well. Quickest on the stage was the Husqvarna of Pablo Quintanilla. He, though, had a 4-minute penalty for going too fast in a neutralised section, so dropped to 9th overall. Sunderland led by just over a minute from Brabec, Valkner in 3rd, Price and Luciano Benavides. His first stage at World Cup Rally Raid level, what a baptism of fire for Fernando Alonso. 3 punctures and then a day of dust. We had different problems, but the starting order didn't help because we spent the whole day in the dust. I just couldn't see. Losing time again with punctures from the terribly difficult stage was Carlos Sainz. Back in the desert, changing 2 tyres was not a great start, but he was 8th. A brilliant run today for Ten Brink, even though his hand knocked the trip and he got lost for 5 minutes trying to find his way out of a dry riverbed. 5 minutes back in 3rd was Stefan Pederhansel. He was hamstrung after his tyre threw a tread not far from the finish, so instead of changing it, he limped home at reduced speed. Oh, what could have been. Janil de Villiers kept a great pace on the opening stage to be 2nd with his Toyota. A good sign as he settles in with new co-driver Alex Harrow. A fantastic run from Mathieu Serradori in his Century buggy. The immaculately prepared car with huge amounts of lightweight carbon fibre did everything perfectly to be best rear-wheel drive and 2nd on the stage. Nasser Al-Attiyah hit a rock hidden in a small bush early on, but come the finish his rears were down to the canvas. However, the Qatari took the stage victory by nearly 3 minutes.
Today it was very, very rocky in mounting, and I am quite happy to be here in the finish.
Al-Attiyah therefore leads overall ahead of Serradori's buggy, de Villiers, Pederhansel and Ten Brink. 387 kilometres for stage 3. The temperature is rising in more ways than one in Morocco. Incredible dunes were to greet the motorcycle racers, but there was no time to enjoy the view. It was the first part of a marathon stage where the motorbikes are limited to only 10 minutes service at the end of the day. You have to conserve your motorcycle. However, big news right from the word go, Sam Sunderland had an off and he fell hard onto his elbow. The Brit was out of the Rallye du Maroc. American Ricky Brabec, he lost time, he had trouble with navigation. He was not alone though. Austrian Matthias Valkner was furious at kilometre 315. He just couldn't find the right way and lost time. Another who lost precious minutes struggling to find his way out with the roadbook was outgoing world champion Toby Price. His riding is back on form, but he wasn't happy. For Pablo Quintanilla, the pace was there. He had to check his pace so that he didn't wear out his rear tyre. Everybody had to keep a good, clean motorcycle. The softly spoken American Andrew Short was backing up more and more statesiders being part of rally raiding. He grabbed a great 3rd, well in touch at the front. 2nd on the stage was Kevin Benavides, making it a great day for Honda, because Spain's Juan Barreda pulled it out of the hat with an outright victory on the 386 kilometre stage, 5.5 minutes ahead of the rest. At the start it was a little bit strange because I saw many riders lost, but from then on I kept a good rhythm throughout the stage. At the end I arrived in a group, but it was a very good stage for me and I'm now very, very happy. Barreda therefore leads 6.5 minutes ahead of Andrew Short, Luciano Benavides 8.5 back, Van Beveren and then Ross Branch in 5th doing well. Just 10 minutes of service was then allowed, only by the rider, before they could rest. That was the first part of the marathon stage before Parc Fermé. Sonic had a small penalty overnight in the quads, but it was Ignacio Casalet who won the stage on the quads. A good run for him to be 12 minutes ahead of the rest. Through the dunes of Mazoga, there were some very difficult waypoints for the crews to hit. If only they had a bird's eye view. Carlos Sainz had a good run, but a puncture hurt him. The two-time World Rally champion is still a fighter, and he was holding the two-wheel drive Mini's own against the four-wheel drives. He was 5th on the stage. De Villiers had an early problem that sounded like the V8 had dropped a cylinder, but in reality, it was a broken manifold. Come the end of the stage, they only had 10 litres worth of fuel left in the tank. He was 2nd overall. Stefan Pederhansel wants that World Cup and is still chasing hard those four-wheel drives in front of him. Now in the dunes, with wife Andrea alongside him calling the notes, it's a team that is well into its stride. After some bad luck this year, Kuba Brezgonski flew to be 2nd on the stage. A great drive that really showed the speed of the four-wheel drive Mini. A truly incredible stage though from Alatir, with a car that had hardly turned a wheel before it left its build in South Africa. It was a long day for all of the crews, but the Qatari said he held a high pace for most of the stage, sometimes over 100%. But he smashed it come the line and he won it by 11 minutes.
I was really pushing, because I need to see where we are. Yeah, it looked like a good stage for us, and we managed without any mistake.
Leading Alatir 17 minutes ahead of his teammate De Villiers. 3rd is Pederhansel. 4th is Serradori with the buggy, and the Dutchman Ten Brinker in 5th. Poland's Aaron Dumzola heads the SSV class with his Can-Am. Their pace is relentless as they head some of the bigger cars. Iveco's all the way in the truck class with 2 Czech Republic crews 1st and 2nd. Jaroslav Valtier leading. Stage 3 was over 2 hard sections totalling 363 kilometres, all under searing sun. Part 2 of the marathon stage for the motorcycles. It was a dawn start. The teams were not allowed to service overnight, so riders started with what they finished with from the day before. Plus, they received the day's maps only a few minutes before the start. Could Juan Barreda and Honda hold the overall leads? Van Beveren, 4th overnight and leading Yamaha, couldn't battle illness anymore. He pulled up and called it a day. Barreda lost out. He was the overall leader heading out, but with the others chasing his dust cloud, he was always going to get caught. He slipped to 6th. I saw that the mousse was coming out of my tyre from 20 to 30 kilometres, and I didn't have any mousse left in the front, so for the rest of the stage I struggled. It was okay in the fast sections, but in the slower corners it just wouldn't turn. Pablo Quintanilla had a good day, starting 9th. He leapt right up to 4th. He's been heavy on the gas of the Husqvarna. Jose Corneo cantered on with his Honda 450 Rallye and stealthily was there. 5th, a great on the stage, he was 12th overall. Matthias Wagner had a bad day on the previous stage, but turned it around, leaping up to 2nd. Sometimes you pay the price when lost, but this price, Toby, got his money's worth by looking after his bike to take the win and the overall lead by 4 minutes.
It was a lot better day than yesterday, but yeah, that's because we start back and still the road book is missing a lot of information, so it's still quite difficult from back where we were, but we've had a good day.
Overall then, Price was leading 4 minutes ahead of Faulkner, Kaimi, Quintanilla and Benavides. So, the time was here for the roadbook to be presented to the crews just as they lined up for the stage. No navigation prep, it was a case of getting straight into it. Alatia had a clear view off the line. Who could keep into his dust? Martin Prokop unfortunately had a huge accident in his Ford. His co-driver was taken to hospital for a few days afterwards. Fernando Alonso was 10th overall on his very first rally raid, but he hit a ditch and the impact was huge.
It was a big ditch in the middle of or nearly at the end of the first part of the stage, in kilometer 75, and unfortunately we could not repair, and we had to come here. The first impression is that the car is repairable, it's okay to be ready tomorrow.
Ten Brink hit the same ditch at 152 kilometers an hour and broke the front suspension. It put him out of contention. De Villiers' Toyota didn't miss a beat. No punctures, no problems. He was up to second. No navigation problems at all for Peter Hansel. The notes were good and he never got into trouble finding the right route. He was very happy to be third overall. Alatia started first with a roadbook he hadn't studied, but drove a cool start to the stage, building his confidence. Still first overall, did he have the rally in his pockets? 57 years old, Carlos Sainz was quickest. He still had the speed. Incredibly, the top four were covered by 41 seconds. Alatia therefore led 17 minutes ahead of De Villiers. Peter Hansel was there in third ahead of Sainz and Serradori, fifth. In SSV Maroc Telecom class, leader Aaron Damzola had an off, handing the new lead to Gerard Fares.
Everyone's talking about Stronger Together. Back the box by supporting them in the Rugby World Cup 2019 in Japan. You could win a one-of-a-kind Range Rover Sport SVR or weekly prizes. To stand in line to win, get DSTV Premium on Price Lock for $8.99 a month. SMS RWC to 42480. T's and C's apply.
Straight in! It doesn't get any better than this!
The southern stage of the rally was shortened to 311 kilometres. The day dawned with the roadbook given to the riders just 25 minutes before the start, and it all gave them something to think about. Toby Price was first out of the blocks after victory the day before. He led the whole day and was one of many to get a little lost. Unfortunately for the Aussie, losing the lead as well. Recovering from injury, Valkner had gone well, but on this penultimate stage he fell hard, giving his knee a huge blow. So who would be on top to make it the fourth different winner in 4 days? Paulo Gonçalves with the hero. One of the older riders in the rally, he used his experience to be top of the pile by just under a minute. Ricky Brabeck was now top Honda after his second on the stage, putting him third overall, just ahead of teammate Bereda. Overnight, Pablo Quintanilla was 6 minutes back in fourth, but he used the 311 kilometres to the max, putting in a stellar ride to leapfrog up the order to a very close second overall. Never short of speed, Andrew Short's Husqvarna shot through the stage to win. Even with a small problem, he flew to make him the fourth different winner in 4 days, and Husqvarna's first on the rally.
The road book before refuel was really confusing. I think everybody got lost, and I rode to the top of the hill and I found some local. He was out of his tent, and I just looked at him and asked him, to kind of point, and he pointed that way, and so I rode that way for maybe 3 or 4 kilometers, and the arrow popped up for the refuel, so I was really lucky.
Overall, it was Short on top, but only just ahead of Quintanilla, Brabec, Barreda and Price. Nasser Al-Attiyah came into the day with a hand on the World Cup. A 17-minute lead was what he needed with the Toyota, but a huge impact broke the crank sensor and it wouldn't restart. Was the World Cup slipping away? Peder Hansel crashed 5 meters down a cliff. The car took an awful amount of damage. They were just able to get it out of the stage, keeping their World Cup hopes alive.
20
kilometers before the end of the stage, it was my mistake. But at the top of the dunes, there was this small cliff of about 5 meters. We were only going slowly at 5 kilometers an hour. The car fell down and we destroyed the suspension. Fernando Alonso had a day of punctures. He even had a flat on the way to the stage. Then he used up all his spares, and then he took the spares of Al-Attiyah. Serradori took advantage once more with the SRT buggy. He's been there and thereabouts all rally, and now slotted into third. 2 days brought 2 wins for Carlos Sainz. He was in the groove, winning stages, and he was up to second overall. This rally was not over. De Villiers' pace was electrifying, and even losing 15 minutes on the map, he now led Rallye du Maroc with the Hilux. Just under 5 minutes between him and victory.
You know, these races are crazy. It's never over until it's done. I'm sure Carlos is going to push like hell tomorrow, but we'll try and keep him behind us.
De Villiers with a hand on victory ahead of Carlos Sainz, Serradori, Przgonski and Peder Hansel. The final day of Rallye du Maroc 2019, and there was still much to play for. 168 kilometres, the final blast through the Atlas. This was the final blast to the finish flag, and American Ricky Brabec got close to a podium, but the Honda rider was a super strong fifth, just 4 minutes back. Toby Price had had a barren year with injury, but reminded the world how fast he was in the desert. He had a huge crash towards the end, falling on his head, but he won the stage by 3 minutes, fourth overall for the Aussie. Winner of the second stage, Juan Barreda pushed as hard as he could. He was rewarded with a podium spot with his Honda, the Spaniard a close second on the final stage. 2 riders out of the same team, but after 18 hours of rallying, there were just 35 seconds between American Andrew Short and Chile's Pablo Quintanilla. Quintanilla pushed and fought as much as he could, but in the end, it was a close second. Which meant that Andrew Short had to ride the stage of his life. He hustled his Husqvarna over the final kilometres to win Rallye du Maroc 2019, his first Rally Raid win at World Championship level.
Not just about speed, it's all these other elements, and that's what makes it addicting and fun and challenging to keep coming back year after year, and hopefully I can continue to do this. I'm not the youngest guy, and it's kind of like my second career, so I feel blessed to be here.
Victory tasted good for Short. He was the winner by just over a minute ahead of Quintanilla, Barreda, Price and Brabec. Laia Sanz humbled many of the men with yet another stunning victory in the ladies' class, 18th overall. Chile's Ignacio Casale won the quads, the Yamaha rider battling all rally with 2019 champion Rafael Sonic. 18 riders finished the Enduro class in Morocco, Javier Flick winning ahead of Guillaume Bourne and Damien Bataille. He won Daytona and Le Mans 24 Hours in 2019, but Fernando Alonso has capped off his season, finishing Rallye de Maroc. Nani Roma in the Borg Ward finished 6th. The new car can develop from here. Yazid Al-Rajhi's Toyota, a new co-driver Michael Orr, came 5th. Kuba Przgonski could have been higher were it not for bad luck early on, but the pole has got the pace with the four-wheel drive Mini. Mathieu Serradori was into 3rd, but he was caught with a car underweight and he was disqualified. He may have blitzed the previous 2 stages, but a water pipe popped off Carlos Sainz's Mini buggy, so he had to settle for 2nd in Morocco and leading two-wheel drive. Leader coming into the final stage with the slimmest of margins was Janil de Villiers. With new co-driver Alex Harrow, they kept their cool to win Rallye de Maroc in 2019 for Toyota.
It's great to have a win here just before the Dakar. It was a proper race. The 5 stages were really challenging, and to come out on top is really nice. Really nice feeling.
Stefan Pederhansel had to keep his 5th overall to take the biggest prize of all. Carefully through the last stage, he and wife Andrea managed to be inch perfect to win the FIA Cross Country World Cup. After thinking about it, we could save the World Cup. We fixed the car and managed to finish yesterday's stage. 4th is not a great result on the rally, but it's brilliant to win the World Cup. De Villiers on top ahead of Sainz, Przgonski in 3rd, Pederhansel and then Al-Rajhi. Sergei Karakin won SSV with his Snag Proto. Jean-Antoine Sabatier was victorious in the open class. Ivecos were all dominant with the trucks, Valtier on top. Everyone then enjoyed the prize giving before looking forward to more Rallye de Maroc in 2020.